One of the strange realities about being a public speaker is that people feel a complete freedom to comment upon things that you do or how you look or whatever else it may be. And so I got this letter not too long ago. Let me read it to you. It says, I watched your sermon online. Great start, right? I played it again because I was struck by the number of times you adjusted your glasses while preaching. Now again, this is starting to turn not so great. The second time, now notice, don't miss this, the second time through, I counted 74 times you adjusted your glasses in just the first 36 minutes of your sermon. At that point, you took them off and I stopped counting. But no. He wasn't done, right? This was an average of once every 30 seconds. Keep in mind, this is an incomplete count because I could not see you when your text was on the screen. I tell you this in Christian love because I know you're interested in anything that may distract listeners from hearing what you're preaching and teaching. So I hope you will accept this, knowing that I want your ministry to be effective as Christ were possible. Actually, I did, but you got to admit, kind of funny. Not just that, kind of funny, because in order to actually answer the number he did, it looks like he listened to the whole sermon at least twice, perhaps 3 times. So maybe as a pastor, I should be encouraged by the frequency of engagement. But the reality is I have since bought a product, right? It's called Nerd Wax. And Nerd Wax, you may have noticed, by now you're going to count every time I touch my glasses. But you may have noticed that I haven't touched them much because now they're more adhered in place. But here's the thing. I still received what he had to say because it was distracting. I actually took action. I went and got Nerd Wax. But again, it was kind of the glasses would slip and I'd put them back up, right? The glasses would slip and I'd put them back up. Now I want to encourage you, please don't count the number of times that I do this unintentionally during my video with you. But the whole slip and adjust and slip and adjust, this is a very common thing, but it's ultimately not the way that glasses are supposed to work, right? So they're not working as they're intended if you're needing to constantly adjust them. And I hadn't noticed at all, that I was pushing them back up. So why does that matter? Well, because it's just a temporary fix, right? So every time I sort of say, I've kind of lost my glasses, they slide down, and I push them back up, temporary fix. Now, why does that matter? Here's the reality. So you see in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 16, it says this. It says, so that we have stopped evaluating others from a human point of view. At one time, we thought of Christ merely from a human point of view, how differently we know him now. This means that anyone who belongs to Christ has become a new person. The old life is gone, a new life has begun. I don't want you to miss this, right? We got a new life, and it's deeply connected to a new look. So the lenses through which we now see others are shifted and changed. Our new life, therefore, if anyone's in Christ, there's new creation. Old things have passed away, new things have come. But remember, it says this, specifically lays out for us, so we have stopped evaluating others. Some translations say we no longer see others through purely human eyes. Why? Well, because we got a new look, because we've received new life. And so what we need is to see people and the world differently because of who we are in Christ. So we've stopped evaluating others from a purely human point of view. Now, the reality is in our world today, it appears that if the lenses of new life are that which could be compared to our glasses, that our lenses are slipping. We see that with a lot of frustrated people, a lot of angry people. The title of this book is Christians in the Age of Outrage, right? The study that you're coming along with us is Christians at our Best. But what I want you to hear, what I want you not to miss, is sometimes it's Christians who are bringing the inappropriate outrage. Sometimes it's Christians who are the focus of the inappropriate outrage. But the answer always involves seeing people differently. And as we go through Christians at our Best, we are going to indeed look at how to see people differently through the lenses that come from our new life in Christ. Now, there's a lot of reasons why I want to see the world through a different set of lenses because of my new life in Christ. My new life of Christ has given me a new look. The lenses through which I see the world, I no longer see anyone from a purely human way. But just before the resurrection, Jesus gave these words of comfort, well, part comfort and part exhortation to his disciples. Well, if you look with me at John chapter 16, beginning at verse 31, it says this. It says, Jesus answered them, "Do you not believe? Behold, the hour is coming, and indeed it has come, when you will be scattered, each to his own home, and will leave me alone. Yet I am not alone, for the Father is with me. I have said these things to you, so you may have peace. In the world you have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world." We live in a very divided time in much of the world. And in the midst of that division around the world, we are in Christ. So we find comfort in Christ. So the fact that Jesus has overcome the world is not merely a comfort, but it's also a reminder for us to live in light of that truth. I can live, and I don't have to get into every argument. I don't have to show up to every fight I'm invited to. Why? Because I've read the end of the book. Jesus wins. I can live in light of that comfort. So here's the exhortation, right? Take heart. I think one of the things we need in the midst of this age of outrage, Christians in the age of outrage need Christians at their best. That's why we're so excited about bringing this curriculum that will walk through how Christians can indeed live at their best. These words of exhortation: take comfort, I have overcome the world. Take heart, I have overcome the world. This study is intended to help you as followers of Jesus effectively engage a broken and hurting world with the love of Christ, with the gospel of Jesus Christ, and without compromising the truth in the process. So just as Jesus exhorted and comforted his disciples, right? Encouraged and exhorted his disciples by pointing to his complete victory over the chaotic brokenness of the world, Christians need to begin today with a confidence in providence. Having confidence in providence means we have confidence that God is at work in the world and his providence, God has a plan. And in the age of outrage, right, we're going to bring our best knowing that Jesus ultimately will secure the victory. And in him, as Jesus said, he says that in me, you may have peace. So we're going to look at the world. We're going to look at how Christians respond to it. We're going to look at how we find our identity in Christ. And that changes everything. So let's jump in and take a look at Christians at our best.